Hey guys, and welcome to the Crypto Zone show where you have myself, Jay, and it's coming to the end of the week. It's been a pretty stable week, but by popular demand, I've got something really exciting to talk about. We're going to go into Cardano's ADA and why I believe it's primed for a crazy explosion any moment now. So, without much further ado, let's get ready to crypto. Welcome back, guys. So most of you would have heard about Cardano's project. It's a cryptocurrency project, and the cryptocurrency token associated with that is ADA. And it's been performing very well. It's really taken off. It's reaching heights, well, it's reached heights that were above $1, and it's even there now. So this is awesome stuff, considering it was a couple of cents and where we are now. But I'm very certain that it's gearing up for some crazy upside potential. And there's three things that I look for that fill me with this confidence, just to confirm that our crypto is ready to explode. So the three things are project fundamentals, presence and liquidity, and mathematics. Now, with project fundamentals, this essentially means the use cases associated with the project. And Cardano is a very well-known project. It's been highly successful. There's many use cases. I mean, you've got, look here, education, you've got retail, agricultural, government, finance, DeFi is something that they've been looking to get into, shake up. Healthcare. The list goes on. It's a lot of use cases that are available here. And what I essentially mean by this is, the adoption of the technology, whether it's at a testnet phase or whether it's at a mainnet phase, and more. And in my eyes, Cardano's fundamentals are passing with flying colours. We need to say more on this. And the second point that I was getting at is essentially the presence and the liquidity involved. So what I mean by that is essentially sentiment around the project. So what big players are using the project, or product even. Who are the advisors? Who are the team members? And as far as liquidity, what exchanges are they listed on? What sort of cap size are they? Are they low cap? Are they mid cap? Are they high cap? All of these things. So as far as Cardano, so as you know, Charles Hoskinson, he's the lead on this, and he was the former, co-founder of Ethereum. So you've seen the success of Ethereum. There's more to Cardano than this, but this is just one small example of how strong the group is. And as far as the liquidity side of things, the exchanges that it's listed on are great. You've got Binance, you've got Kraken, and most recently you even got Coinbase taking on Cardano. And Coinbase move at a snail's pace, really, and that's because they've got a really strict vetting process. But Cardano passed it, and they're listed there on Coinbase Pro, so that's pretty awesome. And one of the other key things for me is mathematics, and this is something that I'm going to go into detail in. So essentially, as you know, charts that we trade today in the markets are completely fueled by human psychology and emotions. We're obviously organic beings. And mathematics, it governs organic nature. And I know it does sound a bit crazy, it does sound a bit sort of wild and maybe biased. My degree is in mathematics, so it might seem that way, but it's simply true. When you're using mathematics, you can find predictive patterns, and there's many ways of utilizing it in the market that can help, just give you that edge in the market. So for example, even the Fibonacci sequence is used by a simple flower, and a flower would use this in a way where it would determine the maximum number of seeds to place on the flower head, essentially for the optimal space to be used. Doing that, or for example, a simple spider's web. You look at the pattern of spider's web, and it's simply fractals, and fractals are geometric shapes and forms, and spiders pull this off perfectly, don't they? So maths is in everything, especially nature. And with mathematics providing accurate tools like this and allowing predictability, is essentially a no-brainer. Why use variations of the Elliott waves theory and Fibonacci extensions as well. And these have proven extremely successful in multiple markets, not just the crypto market, but also the stock market and many more. When you guys do have a moment, I definitely advise take a look into that. You definitely find it quite interesting if you're into the technical analysis. But yeah, let's get straight into it. I'm sure you guys are here for what's going to happen with Cardano. So let's go into this. If you take a look on this chart, I've got the weekly up here, of course, and when you do look at it closely, you can confirm that the bottom was really in from the week that commenced from around the 9th of March. So the bottom was in around about here. And what's interesting about this is that a lot of non-related crypto projects also have the similar kind of behavior patterns going on. So like, for example, if you take a look at XRP here, you can see, okay, look, you know, this was like the all-time high sort of days, 2018, whatever. And then we go into 2020, March the 9th, look at that. That's the bottom for here. Do you see that? So this is still it. Do you see? So that's crazy, right? The same for XRP, but even look at EOS as well. So if we take a look, Binance doesn't have much data, and let's get this up. So where are we? Yep, there you go again. You see it again, 9th of March. So they've all had the bottom come in here, which is pretty peculiar, maybe, or maybe it's expected. This is definitely, I would say, this marks the bottom being in. And the reason why I talk about the bottom being in is because to utilize the Elliott's wave theory, initially you need to mark where the beginning of the trend is. And the beginning of this uptrend starts from the 9th week, sort of coming from the 9th of March, really, 2020. Now, you'll probably be asking, okay, what's this Elliott waves that you're talking about? So I'll explain it to you. So I keep mentioning Elliott waves theory, and you guys are probably wondering what the hell is this if you don't know, or want some explanation. So let me get straight into it. So essentially, Elliott wave theory is completely based on human psychology and emotions, as it all comes in waves, and it's a tool that's utilized to sort of gauge where you are in the market and give an indication as to where we're going to go. And how it would work is you need to find the beginning of a trend, and that will be marked as like your point zero. This is just a rough example. It's not exactly in line with this chart at all. And what you would have is your first impulse in the direction of that trend. So we're going to do this example as a bull trend, right? So typically what happens around this time is the first impulse is usually where, for example, you've got a project, the fundamentals are okay, the community might be quite small, it's not getting that much media coverage or anything like that, but it's made this impulse, so it's starting to make its way up. And then you'd have like a counter trend where there's a slight pullback. It doesn't go below the 0.0 there, it would just be slightly below, but like the major pullback that occurs, or correction, however you want to call it. And this sort of shakes people up because people start thinking, well, this is a fluke, this was early days, it was looking exciting, but it's a fluke. Now it's really going to drop. Then you have the next impulse, which is 0.3, the biggest impulse in comparison to the impulse before and the impulse I'm about to do after this. And what this is sort of based around is things like that actual project getting media attention, the fundamentals are getting positive. Essentially, the sentiment for whatever space that project is in is starting to get big. So that's why it usually leads to the biggest impulse. So you have that, right? And then there's a slight pullback, right? Now, with a sort of counter trend pullback, this is a case of the market pausing, and it's similar to the pause I did last video when I was waiting for you guys to kindly smash that like and subscribe. But yeah, anyway, I'll continue. So this is the pullback that you have. And it's just a pause in the market, really. And this is where people are quite eager. A lot of people are willing to hear things like buy the dip and all of that. All of this is back. All this excitement's back and everything. And that's kind of the phase I'd say we're sort of in now. And then you have that, right? And then the next one is you have the last sort of impulse, which is usually quite big. And this is where FOMO is everywhere. It's all over media attention. nothing can go wrong with the project, kind of, you know, that's the sort of mentality of people, and everyone's just going in, just throw money at it. It's crazy, you know, so that's usually the fifth. So that's what you get. So the next thing that you get is the counter trend, essentially the ABC correction. And how that works is where you have the first pullback, and then you have sort of a midpoint kind of correction recovery. So it's like, you know, just trying to get back up into it. And this can go many ways. This is the thing with pullbacks. It's hard to predict this, because you could almost have an ascending one, or you could have one where it's quite flat, or, you know, there's different types of ones. But let's just use this for example. So this will be point B, and then you would have the final dip, which is usually like, I mean, this example here is essentially a flat correction, which is this. And then after that, this actually can repeat. So this is it in a whole. Just sort of a simple explanation of it, of how it works. I haven't gone into crazy detail, but it just gives you an idea. But let's just apply this. So to save some time, I've got everything prepared. And when we go back to the point that I was making earlier, which is the week commencing the 9th of March, that was when the bottom was in. So that's what we've marked as our bottom here. And what you tend to find is, so I get this here, boom, this is the bottom, this was the first major impulse, this was the dip, this is the third impulse, and now we're in a scenario where this dip pretty much looks like it's complete. I think it's going to be flat. And any moment now we're looking to break out of here. I would ignore 0.5, that's not the target that I'm saying it's going to reach to. This is just an indication of the next direction that's to come, and it seems that we've completed the corrective phase for here. You know, the altcoin market cap is at all-time high at the moment. It's really looking like it's gearing to go. And you'll probably be thinking, okay, cool, you've done a couple of lines, like, but what if it's random? Like, how do you even confirm this? Well, what's crazy about Elliott wave theory is, earlier I was mentioning about spiders and fractals. You know, within a web, you sort of see the patterns, a geometric sequence. They continue, and you know, it's like broccoli in a way. You have broccoli, and then you look at the branches of it, and it's the exact same as its bigger form within its minor form. You know, so the same thing happens here. So what I'm going to show you is this. So if you look closer, inside of here on the smaller time frames, you have to confirm the exact same patterns of the Elliott wave are actually happening within, and I can confirm this is the case. So we go a little bit closer in, the exact same thing is happening here. We've had a whole sort of stretch here, you know, first impulse, second impulse, third impulse, corrective, first impulse, second impulse, third corrective state, and then it's up from here. It's how it goes, and you can go even further within here. You can actually go even further. So to me, this is very exciting stuff, and you know, this really is looking like it's primed to just completely take off. So you can see this really crazy stuff. And at the end of the day, I mean, if there's other coins that you guys want me to go over, go into detail, see where we're looking at, whereabouts are they, is it the end, is it the beginning, and all of that, just give a comment, let me know what cryptos you guys are into, and we can do a deep dive in that. But yeah, you can see there's crazy upside here, and it's a sound project, so this excites me. But the next part that's quite exciting here is the fact that, you know, well, sort of the target regions, how high do I expect this to go, the impulses? Now you can sort of see, I mean, here's a good example. If you look at the yellow lines, I mean, this was the first impulse, but it's very much dwarfed by this other one here, and this tends to be the biggest, but it's not always the case. And crypto is a funny one. This next impulse expect to be quite crazy. Yeah. So guys, as far as the targets, I mean, ideally what I'm expecting, so initially as a safe target, I would expect around sort of the $4 mark, probably between sort of $3-4 region. That's what I'd expect. I mean, if you guys want me to go into more details as far as detailed targets, I'll get something out. I'll work on that for you guys. But roughly, I'd say around here. In all honesty, these impulses are quite vicious, and we could see something where, you know, the altcoins just go completely ballistic. So instead of sort of $3-4 region, we could actually be looking at this. which is it's a crazy one. We'd be looking at around almost $14, which would just be momentous. You know, that would be absolute chaos. So you can see why I'm excited about this, and you can see where the market's going, where the directions are going with these things. And you know, everything's looking sound, everything's looking mathematically perfect. The fundamentals are completely on point with Cardano. The presence, the liquidity, you know, it's accessible. You're not gonna have liquidity issues. It's just everything's looking strong, and this is why I'm uber excited about this, guys. So that's gonna be it from me today, and I'll be getting more content out. I've been working on trying to get things out a lot more regularly, and we should be having that. We'll be having some live streams soon and all of that. We've got a Discord channel as well, so you guys could join that. We've also got Telegram. But yeah, so thanks for tuning in, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.